Hi, I'm Kyle, a tired therapist.
And I'm Jackie, also a tired therapist.
And together, we are
Two tired therapists. Welcome to the pod.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome.
It's
to the
July.
Pod. It is July.
Bye, gay. Pride month is over.
The gays are out.
And your pride flag is still out. It's actually illegal
out.
for you to have it out.
I know.
In July.
I can't wait for it to get a really nasty letter in my mailbox.
Because this
about
is.
How we cannot be having that out
right.
anymore.
No. It's over. It's over.
The gays
Put
are
it
out.
away.
We get rid of the pride stuff and all of the company
It goes on
logos.
clearance. Yep. Go to
it's-
Target. All that stuff's on clearance. Well, it's not there anymore, right? Didn't they take all the Target stuff out? Did Target get wiggy about having their pride stuff out?
Did
I
they?
thought they. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I thought they did.
I feel like Target always displays theirs in the front of the store, but I don't know about anywhere else.
Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah.
It's over. It's
Out with the
America's
gays, in with
out.
America.
In with America. Absolutely. Yeah.
America,
You know it's a big deal
fuck
around here.
What?
The 4th of July.
Yes.
And I don't. It's not my thing.
Same.
I was talking to my boyfriend about it, and he was like, I don't think I've ever really lit fireworks. He's like, I think that's a white person thing. And I said, well, I think it's more of like a hillbilly or redneck thing. And he goes, and what color are they? I said, touche. You got me there. You got me there.
I'm not a big firework fan. Ever since when I was a very small child, I don't know how old I was. I was probably 4. One of my cousins stuck a lit sparkler in my brother's arm, and ever since then, I think it was coincidentally on 4th of July. I have never been a fan of the holiday, nor am I a fan of any kind of lit fireworks.
Sure.
And I will say, producer Justin posted a meme on his Instagram story that said, for some people, this is their last weekend with all 10 fingers, and I laughed out loud.
I mean, it's
true.
true.
I mean,
it's
a lot
true.
of people. So if you're doing that this month, which hopefully at the time this episode comes out, you won't be doing it.
You won't be. Well, I don't know. People, they do it all month.
I know. Well,
this
is why I don't like, because they do it all month.
Right.
But if you're going to be doing that, please make sure you practice safety.
Those people are the equivalent to the people who put out their Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. I just want you, you've heard it here first.
It's called the Antichrist.
Well, it's ungodly.
I said it, but it's fine.
We said it. You heard it here first on Two Tired Therapists. You're all the same. You're ungodly.
I do have to say one other thing about the last episode that we released. Justin told me multiple times after it came out that we were unhinged.
And it was true.
And I will say we'd had some adult drinks.
Sure.
On empty stomachs, and I think that made for
some of those things don't go together.
Yeah, some of those things don't go together, but I didn't think it was.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was hilarious.
Full disclosure, I listened to it twice because it was so good. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I was driving for
so
work,
good.
and I almost, no joke, I'm not exaggerating, I promise, I laughed so hard I almost crashed my work car.
Sure.
At the part where you said, just get a vibrator, put it in your
But it's not even funny because they did that. That was the treatment. It's not funny.
But
it's not funny.
But we digress. So if you loved it, let us know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some more episodes. Maybe we'll do several episodes. We'll just get buzzed and we'll
just go to town.
Oh God.
I know.
That'd be hilarious. I bet it would be really fun.
I think we're funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. People maybe don't feel the same, but
it's fine.
It's fine.
They're probably not listening to this podcast if that's the case.
No, not at all.
Well, Kyle, tell me, what's tired? What are you tired of?
In true fashion, with Pride Month being over, it is time for me to yet again be homophobic.
Good.
And I think this will probably get me canceled.
Sure.
But this song, Padam, that the gays are obsessed with.
Yes, I've heard it.
It's a no. It's a no for me. I don't get it.
I'm not a big fan of it either.
What are we doing? I get it's Kylie. Okay. Hi, Kylie, friend of the pod, Kylie Minogue.
Yes.
But it's not work, bitch. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, what are we doing? We got to do better.
They played it on the radio. I think it was back in May or April, like when it first came out, and I was like, oh, this is okay. And then I heard it again, and I was like, I don't know. It's not my favorite.
But
either.
it's like the gay summer anthem right now, and I'm like, what are we? No,
this is not it.
It's not. So that's tired. The gays got to do better. They got to do better.
Continuing with their war on the gays.
I'm telling you, someone's got to do it because there's not enough prejudice towards the gays out there.
Oh my God.
You know?
Well,
You know? So that's where I'm at. Yeah. Down with the gays and their weird obsession with Padam. I don't get it.
yeah.
I don't get it.
I guess anybody listening, listen to it and then let us know what you
Yeah,
think.
let us know. Let us know what's so
Maybe we'll do a poll on our
ooh,
stories.
we could those are hot.
Yes, hot. Anyways.
What about you? What's going on?
So, this I've sat on this one for a while. I have my list of things that I'm tired of, and I've thought about it. And then I watched this documentary a couple of months ago, and now, of course, I can't remember what it is, but it's on Amazon Prime, and I'm really tired of MLMs. What is it? Multi-level marketing screens, marketing screens or whatever.
Like Mary Kay.
Like LuLaRoe. That's the one I watched on Amazon Prime. I can't remember what it was called, but if you like Lula whatever. I can't. I'm so tired of that stuff. I mean, just stop trying to sell me your shit. And I don't know. It's just not my thing. I don't know.
Lula Rich.
Yes. I fell asleep a couple episodes into it and then woke up in a different episode, but I don't think I missed anything major. It was actually a really good documentary despite me falling asleep. That's not the best endorsement for it, I suppose. But
right.
Yeah, I'm just tired of that stuff. And then you see things on the internet. People are like, oh, buy my, Vita Life.
Yes.
And I'm like, please stop.
Please stop.
I don't want your Vita Life.
I don't want your ground up clay
it's
in
like,
my drink.
eat my nail, hair, skin gummies. And I'm like,
No.
that's gross. And that's bad for you. If you actually look at the ingredients, they're not good for you. Or like that detox tea crap that I'm tired of it. We just need to cancel this forever. I don't need your shit. Stop trying to sell it to me.
I agree. And people get so like, if this changed my life. No, it didn't.
Well, and when I haven't had Facebook in 3+ years now, but when I had Facebook, like I would get messages from people and they'd be like, I'm having this party. I want you to come. I'm like, no, I'm not coming to your party. You're going to sell me some bad stuff.
Right.
That is cheap that I can.
And you can tell they like copy and paste the
I'm
marketing. Like I had my curry paste today in my coffee and oh wow, am I revitalized? No.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right.
No ma'am.
Just type in shits 20 to get your 20% off of your diarrhea tea.
Literally, that's
what
it is. It is.
It's like a diuretic
and then people are like,
a laxative.
I detox. Right. Like, no, you just dehydrated your body
you're gonna have
because you
the
shit
shits
yourself.
for like
7
7 days.
7 days.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
And you're going to gain so much of that weight back as soon as you put real food in your mouth.
Well, right, because they're like, oh, I'm going to do this and then go have 14 Doritos Los Tacos. And it's fine.
I'm going to go to Taco Bell and get me my gordita.
my gordita crunch.
Right. Oh my God. Anyways, the MLMs.
The MLMs. Yeah, we got to stop it.
So yeah.
Well, speaking of polls,
yes,
let's discuss the poll we did.
Yes,
on our Instagram.
Stories.
So we had famously in the last episode,
yes,
we did last episode
yes,
we did personality traits.
Yes,
we did a this or that, and we famously had voted on what we wanted to be.
Right.
So we put those, and by we, producer Justin put those
did that
on the Insta. So we would like to review that with you now. So the first one was honest or brilliant. What do you think? Did you look and see what everybody
No, I did not, so I have no idea. I would assume a lot of people said honest.
You'd be correct. We had a 78% did honest
wow.
and 22% said brilliant. I was trying to look and see if I can still see who voted. But I'm a boomer, so I don't know how to do that.
I don't know. I don't know how these things work.
I don't know how these things work. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, okay, and then the next one was funny or creative. What do you think people went?
Probably said funny. I would think funny won that.
They did funny. 58% said funny.
Oh, 58.
42% said creative. And then we said ambitious or timid.
I'm sure ambitious won that by a landslide.
Ambitious did win that 94%.
Yeah.
We had one vote who was timid.
Oh.
And do you know who that was?
No.
It was you.
That was me. I was just doing, I did it to bolster the results.
Yeah, you did great.
So if you remove me, then it would have been 100%.
Right.
That's fine.
We did anxious and arrogant.
I feel like anxious won that, but I think when I took the poll, arrogant was winning.
Yeah, it was anxious. 72% said anxious. 28% said arrogant. And looking at some of the people who said arrogant, well, one of them was me, and one of them was producer Justin.
Yeah.
So there you go. The one that I think slipped us up the most, gullible or naive. That was a tough one.
I feel like a lot of people are going to say naive, but I feel like gullible probably won.
It was actually naive.
Oh, okay.
61% said naive, 39% said gullible. And then lastly, indecisive or opinionated.
I feel like everyone said opinionated.
94% said opinionated.
Sure.
One person said indecisive, who I will not call out on it. It's not none of us.
No, it's not one of us. Okay.
But it is someone I know. So if you know who you are,
If you're listening.
if you're listening, and some of the people who voted
Maybe they're
opinionated,
not listening. If they're indecisive, maybe they're like, we're not listening to this anymore.
Maybe,
Who knows?
maybe. So fun stuff.
Fun.
Well, speaking of true fun stuff, yet again in true Two Tired Therapist fashion, we decided to do this episode after something we discussed from the last episode.
Right. And you and I were on the same page and we didn't know it when we were texting about what we were going to do, which I thought was also very funny.
Yes.
So, yes. So I looked into all the women, people, whatever you want to say. I'm probably honestly going to say women because most of the literature surrounding this is based on women. But
for
women,
once,
it's women are the problem.
it's, well, you know what? Took the words out of my mouth.
Gays are not the problem anymore. It's the women.
It's the women. We're going back to the source.
Right. We're going back to the source. So shockingly, I will say this at the top. I thought there would be, so let me back up 1 second. I really thought there was going to be like scientific studies on this. Like I thought people would be writing dissertations on this. There is almost zero research on this. Like there's just sort of people writing articles about it, like psychologists writing their opinions, which is fine. And that's kind of what I've taken
It's kind of what we're doing.
Right.
But
right.
not
Right.
really.
But I figured there would have been like some type of study because it seems like when you see something in the media like this, I mean, it seems like any major case, there's something like this. So anyway.
Talk about Unhinged.
Right. Talk about Unhinged. So this is women, people who love serial killers and fall in love with them, or serial criminals. We'll just blanket it like that. So it has an actual term that off air I was telling Kyle that I listened to the Google speak probably 10 to 15 times to get this right. And we're going to real hope I get this right now. It's hybristophilia. That's what it's called.
Hybristophilia.
Yes. So it's a paraphilia involving sexual interest in and attraction to those who commit crimes. That's what that word means. So there's a breakdown of, I was almost going to put it in here, but then I wasn't going to do it justice because it's a breakdown of Greek words and all that stuff. And I didn't think anybody was going to care about that. But I
kind of care.
Right. Philia means love,
right.
If you know that. What this is that.
What was it called again?
Hybristophilia. HYBRISTOPHILIA. For those, if you are ever in a spelling bee, you know how to spell that.
Oh my.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on it. I mean, and I even searched that, and there's really not that. There's hardly any research on this. So what this is essentially once somebody commits a crime, when they go to jail, they start to receive mail while inside their prison or jail. And usually it's after they've been sentenced. So when we talked about the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez, people were sending him mail.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these women write letters. Some of them send some spicy photos of themselves. It could be all of the above. However, there are a small portion of these women and their, I guess I'll say the object of their affection is probably the nicest way to say it. They become real relationships and sometimes even went on to marry each other.
Sure.
Sometimes this is called Bonnie and Clyde syndrome, famously after Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
If you don't know what that is, just Google it because I'm not going to go through the story. But to be clear, hybristophilia is not a mental disorder. It's classified as a paraphilia, which means it's a deviation from normal behavior. So if you look in the DSM-5,
I'm not going to find it.
I'm sure everyone's probably the most famous philias like pedophilia or whatever, trigger warning. There's so many fill in the blank philias. It's not even funny. So, I mean, I guess you can.
Yeah.
The only thing I could glean from any like literature was the only kind of a good example of this in the media is Harleen Quinzel, aka Harley Quinn, with the Joker from Batman.
Right.
If you know this.
Who is fake.
Right. Completely.
Okay.
Yes. Fake.
Oh, okay.
But that was the only, because I was Googling like fictional examples. This is the only. This was the only name that came up. I'm sure there's other ones and probably shows that I don't watch, but it's fine. So.
Well, it's a limited list.
Yes.
So yeah. Of course.
Unless it's The Office.
Yeah, and there's none of that in The Office, is there?
You hate her.
Yeah.
No. But so hybristophilia is what it's called. So
interesting.
Anyways, I would think this is a dangerous endeavor you're going into personally.
Well,
Having worked inside of prisons,
it seems
I wouldn't
not
recommend this.
It seemed like what's the end game here? What do we do? Is this a long-term relationship? How? What's going on?
Right. I think a lot of these start as just like infatuations. Like you saw this person on the TV and you're like, oh, he's cute. Let me write this letter to him. Because you can get that information very freely if you just look it up or whatever. And then I think it turns into more, maybe. I guess if you then start corresponding with this person. I could not find any sort of article or story or anything from somebody who'd been in this position before, like who said, yes, I fell in love with, what, like Richard Ramirez, and this is my story. I couldn't find anything like that, unfortunately, so I don't have their perspective. But they're
interesting.
I know. It's wild. So I found a list from List First.
Hey, shout out.
There's 10, according to them, there's 10 different reasons why a person would do this. So I'm going to start with 10 and go all the way to 1. So the number 10 on their list was a vicarious celebrity. So they get to be famous.
Okay.
And being a celebrity is perceived as being glamorous. So some people do this because they would like to be famous. I guess.
Fame is fame.
But I feel like this is the wrong way to get into fame. No,
I don't think so. I think it's like any attention is attention, right? Like
that's true.
Fame is fame.
That's true.
You get you're on TV as the person who's in love with Richard Ramirez. What more do you want?
Oh,
beggars can't be choosers. Sorry,
I'm not. Just laughing because it's.
I don't know. What else?
It's hard for me to picture myself in this position of being like, you know what?
Okay, but Jack, you're rash. You are a mediocrity adjusted person.
Yes,
right?
that's
like,
true.
I
thought you had to roast me.
Well, I was kind of. I was gonna say well adjusted, but I was like, maybe like medium rare adjusted person. So you would not do this?
No, I
don't think.
So vicarious celebrity is 10. Number 9.
Yeah.
The fantasy of future bliss. And all I wrote down for my note is fantasies are a powerful thing.
Oh, well.
Because it's true. I mean, if you think, oh, you know what? Like, I think, eventually, like, he'll write me and, we'll fall in love and we'll do this thing. I don't know. I think I can see why that would be number 9.
Do you think this is like an extreme, like I can fix him?
Yes, that is later
like
on
that.
this list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's later on this list. But I think a lot of people, well, I think everybody does this to a certain extent, but I think people live in their heads a little bit. And so when you live in, and I feel like this hybristophilia is exactly that. Like you're picturing this perfect relationship because, for whatever reason. There's more into this list.
Well, I'm sure
about
the people they're falling in love with are also like psychopaths, so they're very manipulative.
Yes.
And I'm sure they are telling like, oh, when I get out, we'll get a RV and travel the world. Like,
which, yes, I will say, having worked with a psychopath once in my day,
they know what to say. Yeah.
And if you don't know, if you're not self-assured, which again we'll get into. Yeah. But if you're not self-assured, you don't have the confidence or the self-esteem for it, you will fall for it. Well, I mean, because it's not. Right. It can be really persuasive. Sure. Anyways, I have stories for days.
Please. Please.
I won't, but I will say it's not like I don't know. I'll just say I never was scared, but I always knew like whatever was coming out of that person's mouth was probably not true.
Yeah, like you were being played.
Right. And so you have to, and what's hard is you have to go through any kind of interaction with that person, figuring out why they're saying what they're saying and how you're going to respond without like playing into what they're saying.
Right.
And it's not terribly hard to do, but if you get flustered a lot easy, I mean, you're not going to be able to do it. So, no. But yeah, fantasy of future bliss. Number 8, which I'm surprised this was on the list, but sure. Raising public awareness. So basically that you think this person isn't guilty and you're trying to get people to shine a light on this case because you want people to, take a look at it, try to get it overturned, whatever.
Okay.
Sure. I was like, I suppose, but I mean, I won't say it like this, but I would say for the most part, especially if there's DNA evidence, it's going to be really hard to disprove that someone did something unless there's,
Well, and who are you? You're Rebecca down the street who's lived.
Rebecca DTS, yeah.
Rebecca, that's like lived in the same.
Yeah.
Like no tea, no shade, but like
Yeah,
What?
I know.
What are
I
you
know.
doing? Becky, like, come on.
Becky, get it together.
Becky, get it together.
Becky,
You've
get
lived
it
in
together.
Toledo, Ohio for 27 years. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Who did this list? Who is this?
list first.
Oh, okay. Just some random person.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was one of the best ones that I saw in
Yeah.
all my research. So that's why I picked it. But and a lot of them had the same type of stuff. When we get up at like, we'll take a break at like after 6, and then we'll
Okay.
go
Get to
5
the
to
big
1.
ones.
Yeah, because
Okay.
those ones are, I think,
Juicy.
more. I guess right. I don't know what the right
Oh,
word
okay.
is, but or I guess what everybody would think. So okay, so then number 7 is convenience.
Well,
And I think this one probably makes the most sense if you think about you get to be in a relationship with somebody who isn't physically there all the time. So
Yeah.
you don't have to deal with like the crappy relationship parts, like
yeah.
who's going to do the laundry, who's going to cook dinner tonight. Like you don't have to deal with that. Your significant other is in prison or jail or whatever. So you don't get all the negative parts of a relationship. You get all like the positive parts for the most part. I was like, I was surprised this wasn't higher on the
That makes
list,
sense.
but I think for a lot of people, they can't. I wonder. Well, this is making a sweeping generalization, I suppose, about these people who do hybristophilia.
Absolutely.
But I mean, maybe they can't function in a normal, quote air quotes relationship with people.
It's safe, I guess, as far as
I mean, you don't.
You're probably not getting into a fight with each other.
You're probably not fighting. Your significant other is, I would probably say, not cheating on you. Most likely not cheating on you.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry where they are every night. You know exactly where they are.
Yeah.
You could pretty much, you know that they're going to call you every day or whatever.
Or
I mean,
write
like,
you.
yeah,
which is kind of thrilling.
right, snail mail. And
Yeah.
so there's that.
Oh.
So
I like that. I like that.
I'm surprised it wasn't higher, but then when you get to the higher ones, it's like, okay. Yeah. And then number 6 is to change him.
Oh,
you're
there
gonna change
it is.
him,
Oh,
and I just wrote, babe, you won't.
You won't.
You won't.
No, you definitely won't.
I don't think that happens.
No, never seen it.
I will say I've never seen it in all my time.
No.
Worked in the prison system for 5 years.
Nope.
Not seen it.
Nope.
So.
Nope. Never seen it in my years
Well,
of therapy.
think about what you're trying to change. You're trying to change murder,
Right.
rape,
Well, that's
kidnapping,
what I'm,
robbery. I mean, what are you trying to?
I've never even seen, like, obviously we've seen,
Right.
can't even get him to piss in the toilet, right? Can't even get him to piss
Oh
in
my
the
gosh!
backyard.
A side story. I found a cracked Reddit story that
That'll
I
come-
have saved for the next
That'll
Reddit
have to be,
episode.
maybe in August. Maybe an August episode.
I figured maybe in August people do it, but
yeah,
anyways.
you can't. No.
Yeah.
We can't change people, especially
No.
those people.
No.
Those people.
those
Those people.
people. So
Yeah.
let's take a very quick break,
Yeah,
and then we'll go
yeah.
through 5 through 1, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
We're back.
And we're back.
Okay, you ready for number 5?
Yes, that's where it gets juicy.
Yes. So number 5, reasons that women are in love with a criminal, I suppose, or why. Nurture.
Okay.
So the thought is that these women like to be nurturing, that they have nurturing qualities, and then they can provide the love and care that their partner so desperately needs.
Okay.
Which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I see that. Do we think that works out though?
I don't know. And I also think maybe people who do this think that they can really, I don't know, that they can touch a part of that person's soul that maybe that they like. I mean, because I won't say it for everybody, but I will say a lot of the kind of famous criminals had kind of a rough go of it in childhood. So maybe these people are like, you know what, I can really, I can really love this person the way that they need to be loved. That's kind of how I read this one. I'm like, but I got it.
I see that.
So number 4, it's kind of along the same vein, is sympathy. But they feel bad about their past, so they feel sympathy towards this person, and they feel like maybe they've got a rough deal, and so let me write you a letter and send you a spicy photo.
But where something gets lost along the lines as far as right, like
just a little.
They murdered 24
I know,
women.
I
Like,
know.
where does that?
But that's because of their terrible parents or whatever. I mean, that's kind of people. I think I mean, I've watched some documentaries where I'm like, damn, that really sucks for that. Like, they had a really shitty childhood.
Sure.
Like, I think about that, like, for Richard Ramirez. I mean, that's kind of the same thing.
Right.
It's like, oh my
Well,
God, he
yeah.
really had a really rough time. But that doesn't mean I'm going to write you a letter and send
Right.
you, a pic of my punani. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I don't get, I'm like with you. Like, I don't get where the jump is from. I'm watching a documentary, I'm watching this on the news happen, and then all of a sudden now I'm like writing you a letter saying, here's my social security number, here's all my information. I mean, I don't
like, where does that, something's missing there for me. Because, yeah, I can be like, gosh, they really had a hard life, and I get it, like, doesn't excuse what you did, but, like, I see it, but that, doesn't make me want to show my punene to them, like, by any standard.
Right, I don't, that's not for me, but this one I don't know. I mean, it's very self-explanatory. I don't think I'm going to explain it. But number 3 is sadomasochistic passion. So you like to be hurt. You like to feel pain. I mean, I don't know. This is weird to me because I feel like most of the time you're not going to have a physical relationship with this person. Like, it's very rare that ever gets to happen. So you're never going to, like, have that side of the relationship. But I guess the way that they explained it was, like, they like to be hurt. They like to be, like, there's issues within themselves,
right?
Which I'm like, I guess, but
doesn't that mixing pain and pleasure?
Yeah,
we talked about that.
Yeah,
not
sex
good.
and violence is
not good.
Is a 0 out of 10. Don't recommend.
But do you think that includes like emotional pain?
I think so. I that one I was like, I'm like, I can see it, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't check for me. So number 2, this one I think should be number 1, but it's not. But it's number 2, which low self-esteem.
Oh, well,
I mean,
yeah, given.
And this is what I see, and this is what I've seen. Even, it's no secret. If you work in a prison system, you've probably seen a bunch of staff get walked out for having a relationship with an inmate.
Sure.
It's very common.
Yeah.
It's shockingly common. I won't even say how common it is, but I will say at least probably once a month you hear of somebody getting walked out for this. And I used to tell, when I used to train new stuff, I'd be like, if you've got self-esteem stuff, you either need to check it at the door and pretend it doesn't exist, or you cannot let them know that you have self-esteem issues,
right?
Because they can be very good, and this is part of the psychopathy of everything.
Right.
Is I can read your body language, so if I know that you're looking down all the time, you look scared, I can say you look nice today, or like that. It doesn't start like I want to bend you over or whatever. Like it never start. Well, I won't say it like that, but it doesn't. Those relationships don't start like that. It starts very small. It starts like, oh, you look nice today. Oh, your shoes are new. Oh, your hair. I mean, that's how it is.
And then you light up, and they're like, got that.
Yes,
bitch. Yeah,
exactly. And then now you are bringing in Suboxone up your butt because they asked you to. I mean, that's how it goes.
Hasn't?
Or you're in the bathroom with them, and it's common. But I think I am surprised this isn't number 1. But I feel like especially for these people, women, whatever. Yeah, I mean, you must feel like you can't get if you're looking for a relationship and you can't find that, you must think like, oh, I can get this person because they don't have. I don't know. Like I feel bad for them in this way.
Well, I think isn't that kind of what they say about relationships? Is it's the reflection of how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're in like a terrible relationship, you don't prioritize yourself enough to.
Right.
So, if you're falling in love with a serial killer, something's not right, honey.
Maybe try to look yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing wrong?
Or just, what am I doing?
You're a little bit nicer. I'm like, what are you doing wrong?
Girl, the call is coming from inside the house. Like,
it is.
Look at your life. Look at your choices.
Self-esteem
it's hard.
It's hard. I'm not trying to, and I would tell people, I'm like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just saying, if you have self-esteem issues, do not let anybody in here know.
No.
And if you walk in the yard, if you're walking past them, you better have your head up. You better look like you know what the hell you're doing.
Right.
You better not look scared.
Fake it till you make it,
because they will either
bitch.
eat you alive or they'll leave you alone.
Right.
So that's number 2 is low self-esteem.
Well, and it's like, you don't have to. I always tell people if they're like, oh, I have low self-esteem. Okay, well, just try to be new. Like, you don't have to throw yourself a parade.
Right.
Just don't be shit. Like, just be like, oh, I'm okay. Like, I'm decent, mediocre.
Well, I'll say this: if you're dressing up and you work inside of a prison, there's something going on because you really shouldn't be trying to dress up.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. Who you trying to impress?
Best job I ever had: scrubs, no makeup. Didn't do my hair. Just roll out of bed, show up there. That was the best.
Right.
So anyways.
Nobody trying to fuck you.
Nope. Thank God. No. Number 1. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Partnership, sex, power, and the need to please.
What?
So people who do this, they want partnership, they want to have power, and they want to please the other person. So I don't know why sex is in there, because I'm like I said, that's probably not gonna be happening for a lot of them.
Yeah. Do they get conjugal visits or anything like that?
I think that's a specific thing for certain prisons. I don't know of a single prison within the area that we reside that does that. I think if you are on death row, they may do that, but I'm not really sure. I don't know of any that do that. That's a very prison specific thing.
Interesting. Yeah. Sure.
I mean, I feel like I guess I understand the need to please thing. I understand like, I'm writing this person. They've killed a bunch of people. I want to make sure I'm not the one that they kill. I mean, like that's what I think is like
that. But that's like the I'm gonna fix it. Like that goes to that for me.
There was one
like he won't want to kill me.
I think it was for this one. One of these, the example, they had examples of like people, like real serial killers for each one, and like how this applied.
Yeah.
And for one of them, it was a woman who was writing somebody, and she was like, I was basically okay if he killed me, because I understood. And I was like, what are you saying?
No.
I'm like, that's not right.
No.
You shouldn't be saying that.
Honey,
I'm okay. I'm okay if it's me. It's fine. I understand. I'm like, what are you saying?
What are you doing?
Why would you do that? Oh my God. But yeah, and we can post the link to this in our episode description if people want to look at this list and look at more.
So was this people who fall in love with serial killers, or just like criminals in general?
Criminals in general, for the most part. I'm using serial killers because I think that the hybristophilia is like, it's describing people as serial killers. But I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking even like with Jeffrey Dahmer, who they knew was gay, I'm pretty sure that was clear. I think women were still writing to him.
I think so.
So it's like, what do we do? What's going on?
Well, and I will say, I don't think that there's treatment for this. Like, I really don't, because maybe therapy for self-esteem issues maybe will be beneficial to you, but I can't think of like a certain... Paraphilias and like philias in general are kind of hard to treat and very specific, and I'm no expert. I don't think you are any kind of expert.
No. I would assume it'd be some kind of probably like behavioral therapy, or
I feel like some of it
exposure therapy maybe.
I think it's probably that, and probably a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy, like, because you have to really rewrite the scripts in your own, like, that's how that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if you're a woman who has fallen in love with a serial killer or a criminal, I guess my thought is, if you're going to go to therapy, you're going to probably be addressing a lot of like self-esteem stuff.
I think like you'd have to get to the roots.
Interpersonal issues.
But then do they want to change?
No.
Right? I mean, therapy, you gotta want to change, and I don't think they do.
No, because again, I think you got to think about in terms of like, if I'm so lonely, if I have really low self-esteem, what's the pro and the con of being in a relationship with this person? I mean, there's a lot of, I'm not endorsing it, but I'm saying that I can see where the pros would be higher.
From their perspective.
Yeah. Like, you know where this person is, you know what they're doing most of the time. They can call you or write you whenever they want.
They're saying wonderful things.
Right. You don't have to worry about them cheating on you. But then you got to think of what the con is. You know, what
There's
are they?
Fame.
Fame. And what are you getting out of this? Are you sending them money every month? Are you, I mean, it's like, is he a Nigerian prince? You know, like, that's kind of how I feel about this. It's kind of the same thing. It's like I'm writing you and you.
Yeah,
I have $100,000 for you if you just have to marry this person. But
in the deeper core of it, it's like no. You're not achieving what you think you are. Like, you think you're nurturing him. No. You're being taken advantage of. Like, that's no, honey.
I will.
Ooh.
I won't speak for all of them, but I'll say probably a good majority of the recipients of this, the people who are in prison, probably don't give a shit.
No, they're in survival mode. So if you're sending them, money for
then they're gonna keep this up because you're the gravy train.
Oh
yes. I've seen that. Have seen that multiple times.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you see this sort of interaction when you worked in the prison?
I can't
system?
speak to like people like. I can't talk. Well, I don't think there was anybody like high profile that I would have like interacted with, but I will say I had a few guys on my caseload who knew this. I don't remember what her name was. Let's just call her Linda. It's the first name that came to my mind.
Look at Linda.
She kind of went from inmate to inmate, and so she would like kind of start a relationship with one, and they would get into some sort of fight. She'd move on to the next.
She worked there, or
no. This was somebody on the outside, somebody who would do like pen pal stuff, because there's like programs that you can do like pen pal or whatever.
Sure.
And she would start with one, and then somebody else would say like, "Oh, give me her number," because they'd be like, "Oh yeah, she gave me $10 this month or whatever." So then she'd get on somebody else's phone list, and then they'd talk to her, and then like once she got done with person A, then it was on to person B. And so I remember I can't remember what her name was. It was Linda in my mind, but I don't think that's what it was. I remember a couple of my guys all in the same range, which is the same unit. One week, one of them was talking about her. The next week, he was like, "Nope, we're done." I got into a fight with her, and then a couple days later, I met with somebody else on the same range, and they're like, "Oh, I'm talking to Linda," and I'm like, "Oh, Linda." I'm like, "Oh, I've heard about Linda." And then like 3 weeks later, another person on that same range was like, "Oh, Linda and I've been chatting," and I went back to the second person, and like, "No, we're not talking anymore. She stopped calling me or whatever." I'm like, "Oh my!" So I knew of like stuff like that, but again, I think it's the same sort of scenario. Like this is an easy person to be in a relationship with,
I guess.
Whatever. I don't know.
Easy in the sense is accessible.
Right.
That doesn't mean
but otherwise, I
healthy.
I don't know of any like. I know it was before I started working there, but there was one guy who was on a rather well-known TV show, got interviewed. I don't know if he got any letter. I should have asked him, but I never did.
Mm-hmm.
But he was on a TV show, and his episode aired, and they filmed it while he was at the prison that I worked at.
Oh.
It was before I started working there. I wonder if he got letters from that.
I'm sure.
If I run into him again, I'll ask.
Hey, want to know?
I never saw the episode, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't think so. I don't know.
But it's interesting that you know Linda, who
she was like a well-known person,
right? Like trying to find. Because I think
there was like a church. I think it was like she was involved with this specific church that like they did like a pen pal program, and so like they would have people, and like a lot of them really did genuinely like that because it was like connection with somebody who wasn't family or whatever, but then it became
maybe she was trying to save them.
Probably
turn them to Jesus, and then they were like, "No,
Jesus.
thank you."
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
and then she dumped them.
Yeah, because they would send them Bibles. They would send them like religion. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'll give you $10 if you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior.
Lord and Savior.
That seems icky.
Yeah, most people do that. So.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
That's that.
Any
other thoughts, opinions?
I think it's funny when you talk about Linda, like, to be this like chronic sort of person who does this. Like, I can see it being a one-off, like, okay, Ted Bundy, like, okay, yeah, he was kind of cute. Like, I could see you get swept up in it, right?
Yeah,
it's like, It's like the Beatles.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it's a scam.
It's a scam. It's an MLM.
It's my, fifth cousin from whatever country left me $1 million in their will, and I just have to wire $300,000 to this person.
But I can see you getting swept up like once.
Yeah.
And then like you said, they kind of disappear, and they're not like telling their story because they're probably like, damn, that was pretty dumb. I hope.
That's what I hope too. There really wasn't. I was really hoping to find at least one. I couldn't find anything.
Right.
And
like someone writing a book, like Teddy and Me.
Yeah,
Teddy
and Me.
Something.
Teddy and Me. Did you see the Unabomber died recently?
Yeah.
Oh.
R.I.P.
Maybe.
Maybe. We don't know.
Age.
We don't know.
I had to interpret his MMPI in my
domestic terrorism.
My psych testing class. It was very interesting. Yeah. He scored very high on the psychopathy scale. Well, shockingly.
Yeah. Who knew?
He's an interesting guy. Anyways. I don't mean that in a nice way. I just mean it was interesting. His like background and stuff was interesting.
He was a fun guy.
Yeah, he was fun.
He did things.
It's fine.
We all have our quirks.
I could save him.
I could save him.
I could have saved him.
I could have saved him.
Oh my God.
Girl. That's a whole nother episode.
I know. What we could do an episode on him. I'll write it down. Maybe you'll hear that soon.
Right.
Anyways, well, I have a wonderful game of Would You Rather.
Okay.
Tailored perfectly to your
God
love.
Oh, Star Wars. Harry Potter. Oh, perfect.
Justin did suggest Star Wars to me, and I said no, it's Harry Potter.
Well,
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yes, they are very high on the list. Star
You
Wars
are wearing
is,
a Star Wars shirt.
Star
I
Wars,
just
as I am wearing a
realized.
Star Wars shirt, is probably just a smidge higher, but
Well,
it all works. It all works.
I was framing this after what you did for me with The Office. So I went to
Oh.
BuzzFeed, and of course they had a little Would You Rather Harry Potter
Okay.
quiz.
Like, okay.
I didn't use all the questions because some of them I feel like I could have guessed what the answers were. So I picked the ones that I felt like I wasn't really sure. So are you ready
Yes.
for the Would You Rather Harry Potter
Is it
edition?
like would I rather have sex with, or is it?
No, it's
Oh, okay.
it's,
Okay.
it's not the
Not
Would You
that
Rather
tailored. Not that
R-rated
tailored of
version.
a theme.
No. Well, there's a couple questions.
At least
but
it's not like would you rather have sex with Ted Bundy or
I don't know that I would.
John
probably-
Wayne Gacy?
Oh God.
It'd be Ted Bundy,
It'd be
if
Ted
you were
Bundy.
wondering.
Okay, ready.
Mhm.
Would you rather
Mhm.
fight with a 3-headed dog or fight a Hungarian horntail dragon?
Probably the 3-headed dog. Sounds a
Same.
lot easier.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather have the Elder Wand or the Resurrection Stone?
Elder Wand.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's your Slytherin showing.
I know.
See, I think I'd rather have the Resurrection Stone. I don't think I would want the Elder Wand.
Who are you gonna resurrect?
I don't know. I just feel like I should have it.
I just need
Honestly,
it.
the first person that came to my mind was Freddie Mercury.
Oh my god.
Because I love Queen. I don't know, but I feel like that. I don't know. I wouldn't want to have the most powerful wand. I feel like then people would kill me, like in the.
No, I'd be
in the
fucking them
Deathly
up. Are you
Hallows.
kidding me?
You would, but I would be like, they're all gonna come after me. I'd have to like get a bunkers.
I'd be like, come on, bitch, let's go.
Let's do this. Okay, ready? Here's one that I think. Would you rather date Cedric Diggory or Harry Potter?
Ew. Well, do you
Cedric-
think?
I'm talking movie version.
Are we talking movie version?
I'm talking movie, but not book version, because
That makes it.
I feel like that's subjective. So like what I think Harry Potter would look like in the book versus you is probably different.
Right.
So let's just use the movie version.
I guess.
Ooh.
Is there a third option?
No, you have to pick one.
I guess I would pick. Well, so here's the problem. So if it were book, I would pick Cedric Diggory,
Sure.
just because I feel like in the book, because I don't like Robert Pattinson. I think he's ugly and gross. Oh, stop.
I'm
You're a
so
liar.
triggered. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Cut. I have to go. Are you serious?
He's
I think he is grody.
I will
grody.
say I don't think he's a classically handsome person, but I'm of the Twilight era.
No.
I'm of the Twilight era, and I think
No.
he is pretty. And
Floptina Aguilera. No.
we can agree to disagree. It's fine.
Because I remember reading Twilight, and when I was like, 14. But I remember being like,
I was a fresh 8. Okay,
I.
when that came out. I'm
Oh,
just
well,
kidding.
was it?
No,
Well,
it came out in like 2009.
Oh, that's
I
right,
was a
right.
little older than
We
that.
were young, yeah. But I remember like reading. I was in love with Edward. I was like flicking my bean to Edward in the book. Like he was so hot.
Yeah, in the book.
And then
yeah.
in the movie, I was like, who is this Grody McGroderson?
he had the correct hair. I feel like.
I was over it.
So if you could recast, then pick anybody. If you could recast Edward Cullen in the movies, this is so off topic, but it's fine. We have to talk about this.
So I don't know so at the time, the person I would have recast, it was some guy who went to my high school. To be honest, I don't remember even what his name was.
Sure.
But he was like, he had because I always pictured Edward Cullen as like kind of like almost like a swimmer's body, like not as tall, but he was more like
Yeah.
compact
Yes.
and almost like not like bony, but just like really like tough.
Yeah.
And not what Robert Pattinson was. So I don't remember this guy's name. I'll have to look it up for you.
I
and
feel
send
like
you a
I read an
picture.
article once that Henry Cavill was the original choice for Edward Cullen.
No, he's too beefy.
He was too old, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so date Cedric Diggory or Harry
So-
Potter. So I guess if you're saying book, you're saying it's
Well,
Cedric.
but I guess movie I'm gonna go Cedric too, just
Even
because
though you just
Harry Potter to me. Look, we gotta have a whole
even though you just
episode on this.
dragged Robert Pattinson.
Well, look. Here we are. I don't like Harry because he's just an annoying little brat, and he bitches and complains, and so I don't like him anyways.
Love
So Cedric. So
All right.
all that to say Cedric, but I will just say I don't find him attractive in the movies.
Okay, I can live with that. We could talk about this Twilight thing all day. Maybe we should
So,
have an episode.
I am
on-
reading Goblet of Fire.
You know, that would be a
again,
good episode, The Psychology of Twilight.
but- Oh God.
That'd be helpful.
It's probably the same thing we just talked about: falling in love with a vampire.
Well, it'd be
falling
like,
in
you know
love
what? You know what would be even and more interesting maybe in some ways was remember the whole phenomenon of 50 Shades of Grey, which is basically fan fiction for Twilight.
Ugh. Oh,
so bad.
God.
That did you ever read it?
No.
Oh, it was so bad.
I'm not into
I
that.
couldn't even
One,
finish it. It was so bad.
okay, first off, straight people, stop. So no,
It was
I don't get
bad.
into that.
No, you didn't miss anything.
No,
I stopped reading it halfway through because it was so bad. The writing was just piss poor, and it was very obvious this was like Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like it's just
it was
they're
Twilight for
just not
adults.
vampires.
Right.
Anyways, okay, next one. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather date Hermione Granger or Luna Lovegood?
Hermione. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I don't do quirky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
sorry,
I like Luna, but I don't think I could date her. Okay. This one's a tough one. Would you rather save Fred in the Battle of Hogwarts or
come on.
save Lupin in the Battle of Hogwarts? I know my answer.
I'm gonna go Fred. I know.
I'm saying Lupin. I would say Lupin.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't a fan. Wasn't a fan. So sorry.
I liked him in the movies.
That probably would be better because he did have a child or two.
That's my rationale.
Yeah.
I think they just had the one. They only had one.
Yeah,
kid.
they had one.
Teddy.
Last
Last one. I feel like I know what you would pick, but I'll see. Would you rather fight a Dementor or fight a Basilisk? Basilisk? I don't know how to say that.
Basilisk. I think probably Dementor. I feel like that would
That's
be.
what I figured you would say. I also would say Dementor. The Basilisk would freak me out. I don't like snakes.
Yeah,
It's too
and
big.
you can't look at them, and they're like magically pretty impervious. So.
Yeah, I would do Dementor.
And a Dementor, like
I don't have a soul, so it
That's what I was saying.
couldn't
That's why
suck
I was
anything out.
right. It'd be there. It'd be like
It'd be just looking at me, and I'd be
because
like,
they're always like, oh,
"What
it
do you
sucks
want?"
the happiness out of me. Suck away, bitch. Ain't nothing there.
Out of context quote.
That's the quote for the episode. Suck away, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Oh, I
well,
love that.
was
Thank you for.
yeah, I figured I'd do it based on something you love. Next
yeah.
time I'll do Star Wars. That I do have a little bit more. Well, I know Harry Potter. I also know Star Wars.
Or you'll do The Office, and I'll be like, I don't know. That would be funny if we asked each other a question. Like you asked me Office, would you rather, and I asked you like Star Wars ones,
And then we explain the context maybe of the.
Right. Right.
That would be funny.
Right.
We should do something like that. Oh,
well, there you go.
Well,
If you're one of these hysterectomy philia people, hybristophiliacs, please contact us. We would love to interview you and
probably do therapy on you on accident.
On
I would straight up be like,
purpose.
"Why are you doing this?"
Or
and
on purpose.
Please stop doing this to yourself.
I don't know. Yeah.
But that's me. Anyways,
there you go.
But another fun episode.
Well, happy birthday, America. I think it's actually already passed
Yeah.
by the time this comes out. But
happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday, America. Hopefully you have all your fingers and didn't lose any.
Please. Yes.
But if not, we will accept you nonetheless.
Yes. There's no judgment here. Although we might call you stupid for passing out your fingers.
Which is judgment, but
It's
whatever.
fine.
It's fine.
fine.
It's our episode. It's our
yeah.
podcast.
It's what we do.
Well, we hope that you do well. Take care of yourself. Stay tired.
And Patty.